today's video, I'm going to show you how to create this very useful SEO automation that is going to give you an on-site SEO review, an audit of your page, tell you the keywords that your page is actually ranking for, and also give you an understanding of a keyword that you choose, what are the top 10 organic ranking results, and so you can make a data-driven decision with your SEO. And good SEO is all about good data. The end result or the output will look a little bit like this, where the input, you need to do it in a Google Sheet. You put the original URL that we're analyzing, the location and the language, and the keyword that we're trying to rank. In another tab here, you see on-page data. You'll get a review or on-page SEO audit with all the data here, including the loading time, how many internal links, so on and so forth. But in addition, because I know that just looking at raw data can be a little bit confusing, we'll give you a written on-page analysis. So if you click on that, we'll give you an understanding of what these things really mean in a easy to understand language, not just data thrown at you, with a summary and actionable insights at the end, helping you fix your on-site SEO with actionable insights. Also, we'll give you the keywords that the website is actually ranking for, so you can decide, well, okay, I actually want to rank for these other keywords as well, including their estimated monthly search volume and the keyword difficulty. And for the keyword that you chose, that you place in here, the keyword to rank number 1, we're going to give you the top 10 organic search results for that keyword in that given location. So you can do a little bit of research, understand what they're writing about, what they do, and you get a really good understanding of what competitors look like. This is all thanks to DataForSEO, who are actually today's video sponsor and first ever sponsor of the channel, so a massive thanks to them. This came extremely organic because I've done a lot of work with DataForSEO in the past, and I've done a few videos even before they reach out to me. Why I like to use DataForSEO is because they give you extremely reliable and accurate SEO data at a fraction of a cost of anything else that is out there. So if you're working on large SEO projects and anything like that, DataForSEO is an extremely approachable API to make sure that you get good data for your SEO strategies. And a solid foundation of accurate data will make an SEO strategy so much better. And they're not only sponsoring the channel, but they're giving you guys a free gift, those watchers of the channels. What they're doing is they're giving you extra API credits to test this out. So normally when you sign up to DataForSEO, you only get $1 worth of credit. If you use the link below, you're going to get $5 worth of API credits using DataForSEO, which is a lot of data, a lot of API credits to run this over and over and over, and any other automations which we'll go through in the next couple of days. A massive shout out to them, and make sure that you sign up for DataForSEO using the link in the description. So let's get started right away making this very useful automation. By the way, all of the assets, including the JSON file that you can upload directly to Make, which is the automation software that we're using, will be listed in the video description below. What you want to do is click the link below in the description to make a copy of this Google Sheet, because this is where everything the input is and the output is of everything. We need a place to store all the data. Once you create a copy of this Google Sheet, you want to first place in the first tab where it says input the URL which we want to review. In this instance, what we're going to do is put the URL DataForSEO there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. The location for this instance, I'm just going to go to United States, and then the language, I'm going to use English. I've set the locations and the language in an appropriate manner that if the location isn't listed in there, or if the language isn't listed in there, it's that it's not available in the API of DataForSEO, just by the way. Last time we did SEO API, this time we're going to do SEO data to see which are the top ranking results for that. So now we've got our first inputs, and if we look at the rest of the tabs, this is the on-page SEO analysis, the keywords that the website or that URL is actually ranking for, and the keywords or the top 10 URLs in the search engine results page for that keyword that we want to analyze, which in this instance, it's data or SEO data, I should say. So what we're going to do is go into Make, and if you've never used Make, that's okay. You can create an account using the link in the description below, and we're going to create a new scenario. And the first thing that we want to do here is go to find Google Sheets. If you don't see Google Sheets here, just type it in the search bar. I'm going to go to Show More, and we want to do Search Rows, the first one here. And now you'll need to look for the Google Sheet which you've copied into your Google Drive account. So we're going to go Sheet ID, and you can search for it by name. In this instance, it is the YouTube copy of the SEO audit DataForSEO. So this is a brand new one that we're doing here. Yours should be named something similar unless you've renamed it. And the sheet name, we've got a lot of sheets in that Google Sheet, is the input here. And now we are good to go to the next step here. The first one that we want to do, we need to add a module before we start adding a router, so we can do many more selections here. But we need to search data for SEO. I'm going to go for Show More. And the first thing is going to be Get Page Audit. So if you type in Get Page Audit, that's the one that we want to do here. Now, the first time that you click the DataForSEO module, you're going to be directed to create a connection, and you need the login and a password. Let me show you where you can get that for DataForSEO. Once you've created an account using the link below and get your $5 worth of credits, you're going to go to API access. This is your API login, and then you'll see the API password. You need to click send by email, and they'll give you the password there. So then what I need to do back in my Google Sheets account, the login, will place in the email. So in this instance, it's my email, and the password will be sent to you via email. And I just want to show you what that looks like. It'll be called, the title will be Nick Shernetz and API password. In there, you'll see this password here. I've obviously blurred that out for security reasons, but with that password selected, you're going to go back to Google Make and place that there and save. And then you'll have your API connection. I'm not going to save it because I've already done my connection. So here in the input where it says target page URL, we're going to select a URL. So this is telling it, hey, grab the URL which we've placed here. Right? Kind of makes sense. And now we are going to go to OK. Perfect. I'm going to save here, and I'm just going to rename this on-page SEO audit so that further down the track, I don't get confused about which module is what. So I'm going to finish this whole run here. The next thing that I want to do is, because I'm getting all of the on-page SEO information, it can be a little bit confusing. I'm going to create the GPT module that'll take all this data and give me this output, this analysis that is a little bit more easier to make sense of. It's not just raw data. That might be a personal thing that likes this, but I just like the way that this kind of outputs all this information. So for this, you can use the OpenAI module. And we're going to create a chat completion. Because this isn't necessarily extremely difficult in terms of what we're asking the model to do, GPT-4o is more than enough to do this analysis for us. You can use O1 Preview or O1, but those are vastly more expensive, and I'm trying to keep the cost as low as possible for this entire thing. I'm going to go to 4o, the latest, just to make sure that I'm getting the smartest 4o system. And now we're going to create two types of messages here. We're going to do a system/developer message, and then we're going to do a user/role. The difference here is that the system message or /developer message sets the parameters for that conversation. So it tells that GPT, hey, in this instance, you're an SEO expert. This is the information I'm going to give you. This is how I want the output. And then in the user message, that's the message that you would normally send to ChatGPT. Let's say, like, here's the data, give me the results back. as instructed in your system settings, for example. It just improves the output, I find anyway. So I'm going to place in the system instructions here, and again, if you're looking to where to find them, I'll leave it listed in the video description below. I'm not going to go through this entire thing, but essentially it's just telling it, this is what I want you to do, this is the information you're getting, and this is how I want the structured output as well, which is very important. Generally, when creating a good prompt for ChatGPT or for an assistant GPT, any type of language model actually, you need three main components. You need to give it a role, you need to give it some background, and you need to define the output. And that's what we've done with that system. And now we're just going to give it the actual information in the user role. And I've got that here. Now you're going to be able to add more things here, but I've got in the text here, as you can see, here's the on-site website audit data from the site URL, and you need to place in the URL here. We have the URL, we're going to give it here A. And now you can see that we actually need a lot of data that isn't really here in the results yet, because we haven't really run it once. So what I actually want to do is just go okay. And I know there's a lot of data missing there that we want to place in, but that's all right. I'm going to unlink the modules here and just run this once so that I can call the first bit of data and understand what I'm getting, and it'll make it easier for me to place the data in the following modules as well. So I'm going to call this once. Also, it's good to see that it's working. And the limit that I was getting here, the error that I was getting here, which is great, wasn't an actual error, but it's more that I didn't place the limits within the sheet. So at the moment, because I only have one URL placed in there, I'm going to say, hey, we only have one row that I want you to see. Otherwise, it would try to go to all these other rows. I've just put a test there. So we'll try to do all these other ones, and we don't have any URLs in there. So that's where we were getting the error, but it's great. I like to see errors in automations like this, because then I can show you how to troubleshoot them. Okay, so now we've got that fixed. We've placed in here again, we only have one limit here. So we're only doing this run once. Hopefully we shouldn't get an error message now, and we don't. Great. Clicking on the one shows us the output bundle that we can see, so we can check out what kind of data they gave us. And now we've got a bunch of results here that we can finally give to our GPT to give us a summary, written summary that we can understand a little bit better. So connecting this guy here, now I'm going to go to the user message and place in all the items there. You can place more of the on-site SEO data that you'd like. If you're very specific and you want to see certain things and you want GPT to analyze certain things for that, that's more than okay. You can do that. So here I need to look through the data here. So for the page title, I can go to the module that we've named on page SEO audit. Go to tasks, I believe it, oops, sorry, that's the wrong one. Let's go to data, and sorry, the results, the items. And now I'm starting to see all of the data here. For the page title, I believe that's under the meta, and here is the title here. There is another way that you can search this. So with all these opened, I'm going to search items, and I know that the meta description is under description, and here it is. Just makes it a little bit easier to search for here. H1s, perfect. I'm going to see if I can just search for H1, and beautiful. And I'll place that in here. Favicon. There's here. Now you see how the favicon says no favicon. So it's either going to be true or false instead of response. So if it's no favicon and it doesn't have a favicon, which is these little things up here, it's going to be true. Just so you know, but you don't have to worry about too much about that. Has HTTPS, what we're looking for here, if it's got an SSL certificate, if it's secure. And you can see here, HTTP is true, and we're going to place that here. And finally, we're going to put the loading time speed. If you watch anything within the channel, you know that I am pedantic about the loading time speed of a website and how important it is for SEO. I'm going to go to the time here, which that's the loading time speed of the site that we are auditing. And now I've got a bit of more things here. Please provide me with an overall analysis, yada, yada. You don't have to worry about that too much. Okay. I'm going to rename this as well. Just the SEO audit analysis. You know, if you've got a client as well that is wanting to understand this analysis, it's a lot better to give them something written that is easy to understand. I'm going to go to, okay. Perfect. So now I'm nearly done with the first run. Now I need to place all of this data somewhere. And what I like to do just to keep things nice and tidy is I like to place this SEO audit analysis into a Google Doc and not just place it directly into the sheet, because otherwise it just looks messy and I personally don't really like how that looks. So the next module here is going to be docs, and I'm going to create a document. The name here is going to be the URL which we're reviewing, and then you can either put this after or before, but audit of page URL. The contents, nice and easy. You're just going to click on the result from the previous module. You need to pick a location where you're going to place this. For example, I'm going to place this in school resources and in videos, video resources, and I'm going to place that there. Now, finally, I'm going to go to my Google Sheets module, and I'm going to go to add a row, the first one that we see here. This is going to add a row at the bottom of the tables. I need to find this same sheet that we're working with, but now we're placing the data in here. So I'm going to look for it in here. There it is. And now that I've got the spreadsheet ID selected, I need to select another sheet name, which is the on-page SEO data. Great. Now, I want to place in the values here so this all makes sense. It's selected, understood that we've got headers in all the cells. So the URL that we're grabbing through, we are just copying it from the other sheet within that same Google Sheet. The on-page score is the data that we want to start placing in from DataForSEO. On-page score. I'll leave a link to all the resources in terms of what they all mean, on-page score and the speed and stuff like that below. The title tag I can grab from here as well. That should be under meta. That is the title. The description should be as well here. Perfect. Has a H1. I'm going to just search here because I'm getting a bit lazy. And it's also a lot quicker. H1 here. Beautiful. SSL is HTTP is true. Yes. The loading time is one of the first attributes which we can see. Ooh. The time. Beautiful. Internal links and external links. Again, we're going to search for this all here. Internal link counts. External. And again, you can go through the documentation and the API data that you get from the on-page SEO stuff, and that's really up to you in terms of what you want. The readability score, how complicated or easy it is to read. The favicon, again. Now, this last two I quite like. This is if you're missing any image, alt tags, or title. If you've been part of the community so far, to any extent, you know that I go on about image SEO quite a lot because it can really help you. And then finally, for the on-page analysis, we're not doing anything from the DataForSEO module. We actually want to grab the web view link from the Google Doc. Okay. Well done. You've done the first kind of run here now. And finally, we can now place in our router. You can do this previously, but I like to complete one whole run before I put a router in. So now what we're going to do is get the keywords that are actually ranking for that URL that we want to analyze. I'm going to go for DataForSEO, and then we're going to go get ranked keywords. We want this little bad boy here. And now you see that we've got other assets that we need to place in, like location and language, because you might not be ranking, for example, in the United States, as well as you're ranking in somewhere like the UK. So the location here, we're going to grab the input from the Google Sheet. And because that's already selected from the bottom one, we're going to go location, United States, the language here, that's C, the target is the URL. And the limit here is really up to you. That's telling you how many of the keywords that the website is ranking for do we want to list here. So before we had 20, just to show you the difference here, I'm going to go to 30 so we can see a little bit more data. And I'm going to see just the organic search results. If you want the paid, as in who's paying more for Google Ads for this, you're more than welcome to do that, but I'm just going to go organic. And then I'm going to go to OK. And I'm going to just disconnect the first one, the first run, and run this only. So I want to get the ranked keywords for that URL to make sure that it's working. Perfect. And now it's getting me the data. Let's see what it got me. The collection path. I should see results. And hopefully I should see 30 of these keywords. And if I open one of these up, I can see the keyword data. So here I see the keyword that page is ranking for, DataForSEO, which makes sense. And I've got all the other information here. And if I look at another one here, the keyword SEO API, they're also ranking for that. You get the idea, DataForSEO. So I'm going to now just make this connection here again. And what I need though is an iterator. Because you might select more keywords that I want information on or less, it's good to put an iterator here. And I'll show you why. This just kind of bundles everything together so it's kind of neatly organized within Google Sheet. Iterators took me quite a little while to understand, but so now within what we want to place here is the tasks, the results, the items. Yeah, so this is the one that we want. You know that it's an array when it's got the brackets there, and you want to place an array in the iterator. So now we got task, results, items, and that's the one that we want here. Perfect. Okay. Now we need to place this data in the other tab of our Google Sheet. We're going to clone this Google Sheet and drag it down because I'm nice and lazy. I don't want to look for it again. I've got most of the information that I need in this one. I just need to change it. So the sheet name here is going to change. I want to change it, send it to this tab. The keywords website is ranking for, because we want to place that data in this tab here. So let's go back. And the URL is fine. The keyword we're going to grab from the previous sheet, which is keyword to rank. It's this one here. The monthly search volume you need to get from the iterator here. Keyword information. It's going to be this one, the monthly search volume. The keyword difficulty. I don't like the data competition level. I don't find that, to be honest, 100% correct. So I prefer to go to here, keyword difficulty. The keyword difficulty is, the higher the number, the harder it is to rank. Anything above 30 is actually quite difficult. So just so you keep that in mind. Perfect. And now I can delete these other components because they are unnecessary for this tab. If you want to add other information about that specific keyword, by all means go ahead, but I don't need it. All I want is the keyword, the URL, or what the keywords that URL is ranking for, the monthly search volume of that keyword, and the difficulty. So I'm going to go to OK. Going to auto align this. I'm going to save this, and don't worry if it's kind of changed directions, it doesn't really matter. Now we're going to do the last one, which is getting the information for this keyword. Who are the top ranking results for that? organic ranking results. I'm going to add one more module here by clicking this plus button in the router. And the one that I'm looking for now is get past SERP, meaning get the past or organize really data from the search engine results page. This one here, get past SERP, fantastic. Now we just follow the same kind of direction that we've been doing. The keyword is this one here, keyword to rank. The location we place in B, location, the language. You can also choose the devices here and the depth length. This is really important as well. How many of the keywords do you want to see here, or how many, of the organic search results do you want to see? I think the top 10 is more than enough. If you're doing some sort of other strategy, you can do 20, 30, whatever, but really I'm just interested in who's ranking, who are the top 10 results here. And go to OK. I'm just going to tidy this up a little bit by clicking on the auto align button. And I'm going to do the same thing here where I'm just going to unlink these two and I'm just going to run this once so that I can see that this call is working. It looks like everything is okay. And also now it'll make it easy for me to place that data into an iterator, which again, I want to do. And I'll show you why in a second. So you can see this is taking a little bit longer because, there's a bit more data that it needs to go through. Let's see the results here, the output. Perfect. And now there should be 9 counts because we got the first one here. Perfect. Okay. So now we need another iterator. I'm going to choose for this one here. And what we want to grab here is within the tasks and I believe it's results. And it's these ones here, the items that we've got here. Because the items here, perfect. That's the one that we want. That can get a little confusing sometimes. Perfect. Now I'm going to, again, duplicate this sheet here. I'm going to clone it. I'm going to attach it here. I need to select the different sheet name. The sheet name for this one is actually keyword search engine results 1. The URL is, the keyword here we need to change because we've actually selected this one here. The location we're going to grab from the same sheet B. The absolute rank is where things are going to change. The absolute rank is this one here. Perfect. The domain, that data will change. We want the URL or the domain. It really depends here which one you want, but I'm going to go to the domain first, URL. The title that it has is here. The description, that's the meta description, is here. And the individual URL that's actually ranking for that specific keyword is that one URL. And I don't need all the other components here. Okay, perfect. I'm going to go to OK. I'm going to, again, connect everything. I'm going to auto align and save. Well done for making it this far. You're an absolute trooper. And now we're going to run this whole thing once again. I'm going to delete all the data that I might have here. I don't have any. Great, fantastic. And we're going to do, let's do a different one. So we're actually going to grab a bit of a random one, just so you see that it works in other things. So this is the fly shop. This is a fly fishing business out of the United States. And the keywords that they're trying to rank for, let's do a weird one like fly fishing in Chile. So now I am going to do a review on a completely different site because I just want you to kind of get a feeling for the fact that you can do any site here. I'm going to save everything again and run once and hopefully pray to the automation gods that in this live preview or this tutorial, everything's working, but it seems like everything is okay. And with editing magic, I'm going to show you what it looks like when everything has been completed. So now you see that everything has gone correct. I see all these numbers. There's no error message. Everything happened correct. Sometimes you'll get some error message because DataForSEO can't crawl the website, particularly for the on-page SEO audit. If the website has a crawl blocker, then you're going to have an issue there, but that just means that nobody can really crawl it there. Let's look at the end results here. So we did the fly shop, the location United States, and then the keyword fly fishing Chile. So the on-page SEO, let's see what their general score is, if they need any help. Perhaps you can kind of reach out to them if they have a poor on-site SEO, the loading time, internal links, readability score, yada, yada. Let's take a look at the on-page analysis, see what it says here. Okay, website analysis, recommendations, the fly shop, perfect, okay, SSL certificate, overall insights, performs well. Minor optimizations are recommended in the title tag and the meta description. And if I go to the title tag and the meta description stuff, recommendations, it's telling me how to optimize that. So that's why I really like this overview. It's giving me actionable insights. It's great. I love AI. Let's go to the other one. Keywords of the website is actually ranking for. And then I've got here the keyword that we wanted to research for, which is fly fishing in Chile. The location would have changed all the time, so I wonder why that was an error, but that's okay. And then I've got the absolute rank. So you can see here that the fly shop, they're not actually ranking #1 for that keyword. It's Yellow Dog Fly Fishing, and then we've got all these other fly fishing companies here that we can take a look at and see what we're doing there. There's one thing that I got wrong here, by the way. In the get ranked keywords, I placed in the wrong data in the keyword thing here. What I needed to place here was here, the keyword data from here. I'm going to run it again and hopefully it will fix that up, and I'll show you guys what that looks like as well. There you go. That's a little bit better. So that's what the keywords they're ranking for. Good to make mistakes in these things. You can see that it's working. So now within, now that you've got this automation and you can have all the data and all the files to be able to upload this, so you don't have to build it yourself if you don't want to, although I recommend you do, because you learn a couple of things on the line. You can really make a pretty good data-driven decision about what things I need to fix on the on-site SEO, the keywords that I'm actually ranking for, and then the keywords that I want to rank for, what are my competitors looking like? So I can go and do that search now. I hope you liked that video. By the way, if you want to learn more about how to maximize your SEO with automations like this to maximize your search engine optimization with AI tools and automations, check out our online community, the AI Ranking School community, where you get a lot more of these types of automations, a lot more support, live Q&As, and a lot of like-minded people doing the same thing. So you don't feel alone in this journey of learning how to use AI for SEO. Maybe you've been wronged by a previous SEO agency and now you want to do it yourself. And let us help you in speeding up that learning curve for you so you can maximize your SEO. If you like this video, make sure you consider subscribing and like the video. Cheers, I'll catch you on the next one.